Welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with Coach Red, where we bring you all the news, stories, takes, and opinions about your favorite teams from the Pacific North, fresh from the good to the bad to the Mariners.
The not so great Mariners.
Mariners, 3-4 on the week, 4-6 on the 10-game road trip all along the East Coast, and with a quick stop in Detroit, which is Eastern time zone. So full Eastern time zone trip. A lot of weird start times and early start times and a lot of other things that went on, but it's all said and done. They're still one game above 500 and are one game up on both the A's and the Rangers. So coming back home this week, get some home cooking and hopefully do a little rebounding right now coming up. But before we break into last week, why don't I tell you a little bit about us? If you're looking for a guy that should probably go, I took one college course in athletic training, should get over there because the Mariners need some help with all the little dings and dents they're getting on all their guys. I can go over there and I can at least tape up somebody's ankle. And if you're looking for a guy like that, you're looking for a guy like me, your boy, Coach Red. You can find me on X at the real Coach Red, on Instagram at the real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. And if you're looking for a guy that can help out with these guys that are a little banged up in a different way, he can give them a kiss on their boo-boo and read them a bedtime story so they
Sure.
get a good night's sleep. It's Kane.
Yep. I'm Kane. You can find me over at Twitter, Kane2406, TikTok, Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Balls, balls, balls. Do it, freaking do it.
So Mariners in Baltimore split the series 2-2. Um, Definitely had their opportunities, but it was very much like all or nothing. It felt like this whole week,
Yep.
especially when you go into DC and score a boatload of runs, then give up a boatload of runs the next two games. So it was kind of a weird week. Like I said, you had a lot earlier start times, you had funky start times. Craziest thing was your getaway day on Thursday was the latest starting game of the week for you
Yeah,
being
what
on
was it?
ESPN.
4:05?
Yeah, and the other ones were at all at 3:40. Then you play a night game, then you play 1 o'clocker, and then you play 10:35. So Banner's been on the road for a long time. Like I said, they're let's just go over it. We already knew coming into this week that you're missing some guys, right? You had Cal Raleigh and JP Crawford and Brendan Donovan that were on the injured list. Let's add some guys that are either on the injured list or were banged up at some point during the week or banged up as of yesterday. Um, Matt Brash hit the IL.
Yep. Sure did.
You had Munoz that was taken out of the game yesterday due to back tightness in his only appearance of the week. You had Colt Emerson missed a couple of games due to back tightness. Naylor got pulled in yesterday's game, looking like backside oblique wrist, what he's been dealing with this year. Something in that general area is bothering him. And then you had Randy Rosarena with coming up limp after hustling a ball out first and some hamstring tightness. It was
Yep.
a week of the walking wounded, in my opinion.
Yeah. You know, in all honesty, I understand Miles Mastrobuoni got activated. I did not like the Ryan Bliss send down. I know it's probably the only option, but I got my sweet dose of Ryan Bliss and I needed a little bit more of it.
Well, and there's some clutch plays
Yeah.
with him and Patrick Wisdom in that uh was that extra inning affair.
Extra innings game. Yeah. where Bliss stepped on second before Run touched home, and then Wisdom come to do it at home. Props
Yeah.
to Mitch Garver for making not one, but two tags that game.
Yeah, you had Cole Young getting his first starts at shortstop in in the show. And then yes, you had Mascheroni who was back healthy, facing some righties coming up. So you bring him up, send Bliss down. And then news comes out today that Patrick Wisdom's getting sent down, which bodes well for JP coming back into the lineup. Um, should be getting Randy back this week. Should be getting Cal Raleigh back this week, who's absolutely in launch mode on his rehab assignment. I think he had 5 homers for Tacoma, and I think he had one or two with Everett.
Yeah, and let's just say that all of his home runs with Tacoma were launched. Every single one of them. Cal Raleigh looks like he's Cal Raleigh again. Uh, Good rehab. And then you finally got word of Brendan Donovan. He's still in Arizona.
I had not seen it. I've been looking every couple of days, but it's been
Uh,
a bit. I looked last, like middle of last week was the last time I checked.
I believe when they did their update at something, it was like on the Jerry DePoto show or something. I believe it said that he's still in Arizona rehabbing. So the groin is just not progressing, it seems.
Well, I mean, the good news is that Colt Emerson has lived up to the bill of being a top flight prospect, and I think he's exceeding
Nice.
some expectations with his ability to put the ball out of the park at the major league level, at least early on.
It's been real
Um,
nice.
but yeah, I mean, when you really look at this last week, you just had a cast of characters. You know, you saw Patrick Wisdom getting a lot of starts. You saw Master Boney and Bliss and Rayleigh and Robles on the field at the same time, or Rep Snyder, or
Yeah.
throw in Dom Canzone in the outfield, right? Like everyone's was getting moved around and shuffled. You still got a lot of ABs from Garver and Pareda, which it's going to be really interesting when Cal comes back, what the ultimate decision is going to be there. I think I saw um, Brock Heward tweeted out something that Ref Snyder probably needs to hit the DL because he's been dealing with a knee thing, and you keep 3 catchers on board just because of the high average that you've seen
Yeah.
from Pareda.
I don't think it's crazy. And like I'm not gonna lie, dude. I love Johnny Paredes bat flip for his singles. Where he just whirls that thing, dude.
Yeah, but I also think that Ref over the last handful of weeks has made it tougher. I mean, technically, he didn't have enough at bats to qualify, but he had the highest average of the week. And
Sure.
he's been hitting the ball out of the ballpark. He's been stinging the ball a little bit more consistently. And I think that if we're being honest, if Pareda does have an option, I think he goes down.
Has to be the option.
Or if you want to get really weird and you think that you can make a move to go get another reliever right now because there's been a lot of ups and downs with your relievers right now, and you've been dealing with a lot of injury, and we're going to be coming to a head because I think the 6-man rotation is done. So we'll probably hear something this week. Most likely that Luis Castillo is going to be bumped to the bullpen unless you have another starter like a Kirby or a Woo that ends up hitting the IL and missing a start because they
Mhm.
have been a little bit shaky the last couple times out. But yeah, it's going to be real interesting coming up. But here's my wild idea. Mitch Garver's playing a solid backup catcher. And if you've got a team that needs a catcher right now who might have a surplus at relievers, there could be a pick and you throw in a little bit of a prospect haul to go, not a haul, but like throw in a prospect to go get yourself a major league ready reliever right now.
Sure. I just like Mitch Garver. I don't know what it is this year. I
I'm
do.
not going to let the good guys get in the way. I think that you
I
probably
know.
played a little bit safer because you have Cal coming off injury and he's never really hasn't missed time due to injury. So you probably want a little bit more certainty there right now. And you don't want to trade him away and see him go down. Then you've got Johnny Prada catching every day, right? Getting a day off a
Yeah.
week with O'Keefe or someone else from
Somebody.
Triple A,
Yeah.
right? It's not like Luke Stevenson's coming up from Single A.
No. Like, as good as he's doing down there, like he's gonna be a double A soon, I think.
Yeah. But talked a little bit about how there were some struggles this last week. And like I said, with the weird lineups that you had going through there, there's going to be some new and interesting names and guys that you didn't expect here when we go through the stats. But I think it just kind of shows kind of how you were on that road trip and what we're really looking at going into next week, where you do have a bunch of those guys coming back.
I did see something too that it's like almost every time they go to the East Coast for a roadie, they struggle. The time difference just sucks. You're always on the move, it seems like. And, like it's easier to combat that in football than it is for baseball.
Yeah, especially when you're staying out there, and then you had the multiple games weather played in, and the
Yeah,
Mariners typically don't play that well when there's a delay outside of Friday. It's like the only time that the Mariners have ever played well on a rain delay. Usually it just
backfires.
screws
Yeah,
them. But yeah,
yeah.
let's get into the top players of the week. We'll start off with the hitters. Um, I bumped it down to gave a little bit more leeway because there wasn't a lot of great hitters this week. And when you look at the whole week, especially ones that had over the 10 at bats we like to see. So I went with the top six guys and then threw
That's
in
fair.
one of the pick to click that was brought up last week. But we'll start off at the top. Dominic Canzone. Batted 381 on the week. He's had 4 runs, 8 hits, one double, one triple, 2 homers, and 4 RBIs.
I It's more put together than it was last year. He is stinging the ball everywhere, dude. Like some of these that he hits, I'm like, oh, that's just a really good hit. And then I'm like, oh, that's a homer. Like his stance is so strange, but yet like so much torque when he comes through the zone. And oh boy, is it fun watching Dom Can zone right now. So many spicy meatballs.
Yeah, and I mean, 8 hits on the week. You play a total of 7 games. Obviously, you didn't play in every single game, right? But when you
Yeah.
look at how he has been hitting, he's making a play, and he's been getting some base hits off of lefties, especially lately when he's had the opportunities. They're not necessarily just going straight to the platoon, which I think has been nice.
Yes, very nice because it has worked out to where I mean, granted, it may have not worked out because they got spanked, but seeing him and Rayleigh get lefty at bats has been great.
Exactly. But yeah, with Canzone, we need to get some more guys on in front of him if he's going to be one of your hotter hitters, having 8 hits
Yeah.
on the week and having, 4 extra base hits and that only resulting in 4 RBIs. It's kind of back to what we've said in years past. Like typically it was just the solo homers on the week, but when you're ripping doubles, triples, and a couple homers and you're sitting at 4 RBIs, I want the guys to be on base in front of him so he can drive in a few more runs. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not even talking about the top RBI guy this week because his average, and especially over the tail end of the series, it was Josh Naylor. I think he finished the week with 6 and started the week off with 4 and was nice and hot and then cooled off pretty heavily after that.
Yes.
But I don't want a guy that's batting sub 200 on the week or right around 200 to be my leader in RBIs for the week. I want the guy that's hitting 381 and putting the ball out of the
Right.
ballpark to be that guy.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right. Your pick to click clocked in with the second best batting average. Randy Arozarena batted
Hey, did.
368, scored 4 runs, had 7 hits, 1 homer, 4 RBIs, and also threw in a stolen base.
Dude, Randy was such a menace in Baltimore. My goodness. Like, I I couldn't believe what I saw from him in that series. He was all over the place, and I had to go with him this time because the last time I didn't, he had a fantastic week. So, dude's been the most consistent, I feel like, throughout the year. And I mean, the power was starting to really come back, and now he's hurt for a couple days, so that sucks.
Luckily, I think they were just going precaution, like get back home,
Yeah.
got an off day, let's give him 3 days of rest. And hopefully that bodes well for him because, yeah, he has been a standout this year. I think that when it comes to this entire team, he's played most consistently and played at an all-star
Yes.
level. Julio obviously is going to be making the all-star team, but I expect Randy to be joining him there as well.
Yeah, agreed. They both have been amazing so far this year.
Another guy that's been pretty consistent as well. My pick to click last week was Cole Young, 313 average on the week. He had 4 runs, 10 hits out of the leadoff spot, 1 homer, only 1 RBI though. And we did see really this week the bottom of the lineup struggled a little bit
Yes.
more, right? You had the likes Pareda and Garver weren't necessarily as hot as they were in weeks past. Patrick Wisdom wasn't hitting the ball very well. You sprinkle in Ryan Bliss and Master Boney. Master Boney got on base a little bit there, but just weren't a lot of opportunities. And outside of him hitting the solo homer, he was a singles merchant. So was trying to set the table. And obviously that kind of helped a little bit with Garver, or not Garver, with Naylor racking up some
Hmm.
RBIs, but we didn't necessarily see that accentuated with Julio, right? And even
Hmm.
with Randy, when he was in the lineup, only getting 4 RBIs. One of those, I think, was a 3 run homer in the first game. So it's not
Yes.
like they were knocking them in after the fact.
Yeah. No, Cole Young at the leadoff spot has been a delight. I really like it.
Uh,
I think it should stay that way.
I wouldn't be shocked if when JP comes back, you see JP rocking the 9 hole. But I mean, let's be real.
Eight, maybe the eighth spot because Cold Emerson just he slides in that nine hole perfect.
I mean, let's be real. I think JP, you were getting great at bats, and he's sitting at like the number 5 WAR player at shortstop, and he's missed time. And
Yeah.
it's mainly due to the bat and his ability to drive the ball in. He's been hitting the ball with power. I think JP
Yes.
does go back, and that brings Cole Young back down to the bottom seven, 7, 8, 9, and that bottom lineup
Yeah.
gets a little bit spicier too.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Another guy who was fresh off an injury who brought the spice this week was Victor Robles. Batted 286 on the week. He had 2 runs, 4 hits, and all singles and tacked on a stolen base as well.
Victor was fun this week. I appreciate DC fans giving him a little standing O, because he was a top prospect in their system for a while.
Won a World Series with him.
That's true. So it's good to see him get some love going back to the place where he used to play. Victor was fun this week.
I mean, I think as he's healthier, like I think it was Saturday's game, trying to get out of the box and totally rolls his ankle hard. Stays in the game, plays the next day. So luckily that wasn't serious because that was another one that
Yeah.
you're like, here comes
Uh,
another injury. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, having a healthy Robles is fun and good for this team.
Agreed. Agreed.
All right, next guy we'll talk about is Mitch Garver. Mitch batted 273 on the week, 2 runs, 3 hits, 1 homer, 4 RBIs.
Gee, that homer was absolutely launched. And all of his homers are.
Yes.
Like, they are destroyed. And like, I like the message that he's kind of put out when Cal was gone. Right, he's like, we have to hold the line basically, and him and Pareto have done the job.
I think
Like,
since Cal's been out, I saw something hang at the midway point of last week that said that for catcher war, that out of the whole catcher position, including the backups, they were number three
yeah,
over the time that Cal Raleigh's been out. I think probably
uh,
behind Shea Langoliers and like Dingler probably from Detroit.
yeah, and I will say, like Mitch Garver, as of late, everything's almost been better about his play. Like he's getting tags down, he's throwing dudes out. Like,
And he's hitting the ball a little bit. And
yeah,
like I said, this could be a trade piece if you felt really comfortable with Cal's rehab and there was a reliever you could go out and get. But like Garver, when he was with the Texas Rangers, was kind of that cherry on top and could be that guy. And we saw that late last year, right? We saw in that Toronto series where he comes in and just is inches away from a homer, right?
mhm.
And bangs one off the wall. He's got that in him at any given point in time. That the power is always going to play.
Yes, yes. But hey, good on Mitch Garver. I hope there's one. I hope there's a young stud that we're going to be talking about too. I really hope. I hope we're going to be talking about him.
Put Colt Emerson on here, even though
Yeah,
the batting average was low. Um,
yeah,
was a 214 average on the week. Scored 3 runs, had 3 hits. Two of those were homers in Washington after he got back on the field, missed some games early on in that Orioles series, and finished the week with 4 RBIs on a short week for him.
yeah. Cold Emerson's just been so much fun. Oh my goodness, seeing him and Cole Young up the middle is a treat.
Yes, I think that there was some extra work that JP was doing with the team at third base.
Yes.
Um, Report came out that he said he's feeling more comfortable there. It'll be interesting to see, um, especially the off day, what they're gonna implore come out tomorrow and whether you're going to see JP at short or at third base. We'll see, right? But obviously, Colt is showing what he can do with the glove and it's looking smoother and has a little bit more zip on the ball than JP currently has in the
Yeah,
field.
and man, when he gets a hold of stuff, dude, that up and in fastball he took pull side was absolutely insane. This kid is so special.
Yeah, and I mean, I was down watching a Cal Raleigh rehab game on Thursday down in Tacoma, and same guy that I went to a single A game with last year when Colt was down there. You had Arroyo, Laz Montez were all in Everett, right?
Yeah.
And during that game, we're like, yeah, I could see the physicality and the tools, but I think Colt ended up with a walk-off sac fly, but I don't think he had a hit on the day and laid out a couple times, but it was ball was a little bit out of reach and what the no play was ever going to be made on him. But it's like, yeah, you can tell that he's a good player, but just to see the progression within basically 1 calendar year for
Oh,
him and the ascension and the swing change and how that's really played and the
oh
athleticism's obviously
gosh.
there. I'm waiting for him to, go and swipe some bases out there.
Yeah, I didn't realize how quick he was. Like him and Cole Young both have shocked me with how fast they are.
Yeah.
Cause like Cole Young was flying down the base, dude, down to first this week. It
Yeah.
was ugh. But yeah, Cole Emerson has been super fun. And I do love like, he put out a quote, he was talking to somebody and he's just like, I'm stronger now. Like I know that I can put the ball out. And it's like wait till he puts like an off season workout with the Mariners team, like or whatever,
What do you
right?
think he did last year?
I don't know. Wait till he gets just a little bit more muscle into him. Like I think he's gonna be dangerous.
Yeah. Another guy that has been dangerous for most of this year, but was our guest pickers pick to click, did not have the best week. It was Julio. Been
Yeah.
cooling down a little bit in June. Batted 148 on the week, scored 3 runs, had 4 hits and 2 RBIs, all hits being singles.
Yeah. He also ran into a lot of bad luck ball this week. He would sting almost everything, but right to somebody. There's one yesterday or Saturday that I thought that like, oh no, like Julio just went yard. And
Oh,
it
is that one? I
was
think Dylan Cruz made I think it was Saturday. Dylan
yes,
Cruz made like a twisting,
leaping
turning catch,
catch.
banging into the wall.
Yes. And like Julio's been still hitting the ball very hard. It's just right to people.
Yeah, and Julio, I do feel like hits well at home, and temperatures warming up in Seattle, which is usually the time that we really start seeing Julio explode. We've seen him play more consistently early on this year, so we could potentially see Julio really shake loose the rest of this month and really push into the July, August that we typically see with the Julio Rodriguez.
Yes.
All right, those are all the hitters that we will be talking about today. We'll pop over to the relievers
It's not a
and
great
starting
list this
staff,
week.
but I I broke character on this.
You had to.
Well, I didn't have to, but I'm going to throw in a reliever that did not have a 0 ERA this week, just because they did some good stuff. We'll
Sure.
we'll get into it. Let's start off with Matt Brash. Matt Brash had a 0 ERA and lucked out of getting out of it was right before he went on the injured list. Pitched in one game, pitched 2/3 of an inning, 1 walk, 1K.
Was
And
like you could tell something was wrong.
yeah,
Like it was bad.
it's
The
good. It's good to get him on the IL and get healthy. But like I said, we've got a little bit of a revolving door
I
right
think
now.
I know who this person is you put on the list. I
Well, we'll
think I
see.
know who it is
I will
because I
say
liked what I saw from him too.
I will say that I did see Troy Taylor pitch down in uh AAA this week, and the stuff still plays. Like it is electric. He's lost a little bit of the command. When he was warming up on the bump, I don't think he threw a strike, right?
I
But
think
the slider is filthy and he's still humming it at 96, and it looks like it's coming in a lot quicker than 96.
I just think that if he just gets out of his own head, he's going to be really good.
He's just got to get the command back, because that was what
I
I saw
I think
was the
he's
biggest issue.
I think he's just thinking too much about it, dude. Because like it was when he
That's what pitchers do though.
I know, I know, but it's to the point where like I mean when he I think it's just been since he kind of I think he got hurt and then was sent down and never brought back up really, and then he got sent down again because he pitched poorly. Like messed with him,
Yeah.
and he's still trying to get back to that form.
Yep. But a guy that's kept good form, Scape Spire, pitched in 2 games this week, 0 ERA, only pitched an inning in the third. There wasn't a ton of high leverage spots this week when you really look at it.
Yeah,
Outside of that extra inning game in Baltimore, everything was kind of like swung one way or another, pretty heavy.
yeah.
So the high leverage guys got a little bit of relief this week, but it kind of opened the door for some of the younger guys as well. And the one that had arguably the best week was Nick Davila. 0 ERA on the week. Pitched in 3 games, got a save in that extra inning game, got called up, took a red eye, is on the
Yeah,
field. Like, he had 3 1/3 innings pitched, 4 Ks and 1 walk.
he looked good. He looked good. Wasn't
And
he the guy that people were talking about? Like, there's somebody in AAA right now who's coming out like in their bullpen that's really good.
I don't think it was Davila. I think that they made some plays for some former top prospects and stuff down there. I think there was another guy that we brought up that had been playing very well. The guy was down there. I think it's like Kreider or something like that that
Yeah.
was called up, who was pitching extremely well, and like his wife is friends with Kreider's wife or something like that. So
Uh,
I think that's who it was. But yeah, I think Davila did give up a run, but it's not an earned run because it's an inherited runner from the ghost runner rule. So those don't count
yes.
against the ERA. But great week from Nick.
Yeah. Agreed.
All right, and the last reliever we're gonna talk about had a 1.93 ERA on the week, pitched in 4 games, gave you 4 and 2/3 innings, only gave 1 earned run, had 6 Ks to 2 walks, and
It's
that
Alex Hoppy,
was,
isn't it?
yeah, Alex Hoppy.
Yeah. Dude, his stuff's nasty.
Yeah, it's pretty
He
sick.
just he just has to get a little more control. And like he could be something. Like I, I like
He's a
it.
good, I mean, to go out and get 4 and 2/3 innings shows that he can
Yeah.
give you a little bit of length, but he can be kind of that bridge guy, or it's not necessarily the pivot guy, but let's say you've got a 3 run lead. Pitcher
Yeah.
only gets you 5, right? That's a good guy to bring in the sixth.
Yes. I agree. I like Alex Hoppy.
I think 6 and 7, when you've got a little bit of a lead, like he's
Yeah.
been doing some good stuff all year. Definitely, you can see the talent is there with his pitch mix, and I
Mhm.
had to shout him out because when we
He's
didn't
been
have a
good.
lot of the leverage guys and pitching in 4 games and almost pitching 5 innings in relief when you're just a 1 inning guy, like I'm gonna give you some props.
Yeah. And only give up 1 run. Like, yeah. I'm here for it, dude.
Let's hop over to the starters. The starter that had the best ERA game was Logan Gilbert.
Yeah.
Logan Gilbert, 1.5 ERA, pitched 1 game, gave up 1 earned run over 6 innings, 5 Ks and 2 walks. It was good to see Logan get through 6 again.
Didn't he wasn't this no, this was the start where he blew up in the first and second inning and he had 50 pitches going into the third. Yeah.
I
Like
think
Logan Gilbert.
I texted you and I said, we need some quick innings or else this is going to be really bad because the bullpen was kind of toast at that point. And
Yes.
boy, howdy, did he buckle down and get you through 6.
Logan Gilbert showed up for the first 2 innings and then Walter showed up. Like he started to shove after that. So yeah, good on Logan this week.
All right, the second best ERA out of the starters was Bryce Miller, 2.25 ERA. Got a win on the week, pitched 8, gave up 2 runs, 4 hits, 7 Ks, no walks.
Bryce was
Bryce
I,
Miller is him, or if you want to go by his, proper government name, he is Himothy right now.
I
Uh,
it's this is the type of stuff we were seeing from Brian Wu last year, right?
this is
Like,
the type of stuff that we saw from Bryce Miller the second half of his second year in the league, right?
yeah,
Um, he's pitching to a tune of like a 1.48 ERA on the season right now and is getting length now where they were kind of limiting his innings. And now that the piggyback is hopefully all put to bed and
he
done, like there's no way that he is being taken out of your starting five.
he what was it? He did like he went into the eighth inning at like 77 pitches or something like that, or around eight, like maybe 81. But like, oh, Bryce Miller is so fun right now, so fun.
No, he's great. And that was your pick to click last week. My pick to click is the next guy on the ERA list. It was Luis Castillo, 3.18 ERA. Uh, got the loss, pitched 5 and 2/3, gave up 2 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks. And it's going to be really interesting to see because Luis Castillo has pitched remarkably better since Bryce Miller was knocking on the door to come back. And
Yes.
we have seen Emerson Hancock still put things, but it's going to be really interesting to see which one of those guys ends up in the pen. I think that as unfortunate as it is for Emerson, his last start was a little shaky. He had the big strikeout one. He has had the relief experience where he could come in for an inning and then come back a couple days and probably give you long relief if needed, which I think will best help the ball team in the long run for right now. But I do think that Luis Castillo should find himself in the bullpen. And I don't
I
think
think
that he or
Emerson's
anyone else wants that unless they can go off his more recent success right now and flip him over for probably a solid reliever on a 1-for-1 on a team that needs a established starter.
Yeah, I do also think that Luis should be in the bullpen because Emerson has pitched pretty good all year outside of yesterday. Um, just James James Woods really good at baseball. Uh, both him and Luis got lit up this week, particularly in one inning where everybody just started to hit the ball. It is what it is. The Nats team is a really young and good team. Um, they all got hot at the right time. So I do think Luis goes to the pen. I think you get better results out of him than you do Emerson Hancock.
I'm I would not disagree with that. I do need Emerson to find the sweeper again though. Um,
Yes.
Getting a little reliant on the heater. And I think that'll help when you get Cal Raleigh back, so the pitch com's not on his belt. Cal gets that back and it's like, oh, you don't want to throw the sweeper? That's too bad. I'm Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
Um,
Hold on, buddy.
the last week's guest picker also called out George Kirby. George Kirby, 4.5 ERA on the week, got a loss, 6 inning pitched, gave up 3 runs at 10 Ks though, 3 walks, which is a little uncharacteristic. And you're seeing a little bit of up and down with George this year. Early on in the year looked phenomenal, and then you're kind of seeing some swings right now. You need him to lock in a little bit. And
Yes.
unfortunately, our guest picker picked 2 pretty bad weeks. We'll give her some redemption next week, though.
Yeah, sure. Sure. And maybe, well, he doesn't know enough, so we're not even gonna ask him.
Nope. So Randy Arozarena, I think, edges out, even though he missed some time, barely edges out Cole Young. And then Bryce Miller had the deepest start, even though him and Luis Castillo gave up the same amount of earned runs. Ultimately, you got that win out of Miller. So it's 2 for
Yep.
you. Keeps me up 1 since I had
Yep.
the 3-win lead.
God, it's been
But
a
I
while
will.
since I've swept you. It's been a long time.
Well, we'll give you a shot to do it again. Who's
Yeah.
your pitcher pick to click on the week?
Oh, we're going pitcher. I'm gonna double dip and go Bryce Miller again. He's got something going right for him. He's going into basically cruise mode when he gets up there. I'd be dumb not to pick by Bryce Miller again. So I think that's the well we're going back to. Coach Red, who you gonna take?
Go ahead and give me another Logan Gilbert start against
Yeah,
the Orioles, especially coming back home. Traditionally, he looks better at home, and he really battled his way through. And I think that something clicked for him, after we got that. It's like, let him put the ball in play a little bit
fair.
because the Orioles right now are a team that is loaded with talent, but isn't necessarily playing up to that talent. So, give me a Gilbert start at home this week against the Orioles.
All right.
All right, who do you have as your pick to click for the hitters?
He's already hinted at it that he's coming back and he will be in the lineup tomorrow. Give me Big Dumper this week. I think Cal Raleigh's playing in every game. He may not catch every game, but he will be in the lineup every single game this week. Give me Cal Raleigh to explode and keep the success from his rehab starts. It looks like he's found the swing again, and I'm ready for some turn in this clubhouse because Dumper's here. So I'm not going off statistics this week, which I am because he's gonna hit a lot of home runs, which would be great. But like vibes as well.
I also think that with all of his home runs, they came from the left-hand side. And
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if they give him a rest day because you tail end of the week, you have Boston's coming out with three lefty starters projected right now. So when you're sitting at that point, I think in one of those games you give Cal Raleigh a day off.
sure.
It's probably Saturday, and then you give most likely Garver a chance and Ref to come in at DH to give him a day off completely because he is coming back. And obviously, the power numbers are coming from the left side based on the rehab performances. So I would lean more
Also
towards
hit one on the
actually
way.
giving him a way off, day off.
He also in one game hit one from both sides of the plate, which was awesome. In his rehab start. But yeah,
The
I think
left-handed
Cal's
swing
gonna.
is looking crispy though.
Yeah, I got a good feeling that Cal Raleigh is going to put on a show for us. I have to go back to my tried and true now that he's here. Um, but yeah, Coach Red, who are you going to take this week?
I'm gonna jump back on my Julio train, just because he is stinging the ball. You've got Batman is getting his Robin back, and Cal Raleigh both hitting in the
Yes,
middle of the order. Especially don't know really what the true outlook's going to look like for Naylor and for Randy. Kind of opens the door for Dom Canzone, who's been hot. Luke Rayleigh batting a little bit higher in the lineup. It can get a little bit interesting here. Cole Young obviously playing well. JP coming back. Colt Emerson, but like we said, when this team's winning, we need some wins. Julio's running hot, and we need
yes.
Julio to heat up at home. Um, Especially in Baltimore, I felt like he was stinging the ball very well, and it was just going right to people, hoping that the Marine layer can knock down some of those stings, and maybe a guy lays out and Julio ends up getting a triple or something. That'd be pretty sweet.
That would be sweet.
Yep. So upcoming, we kind of danced around it. You've got games, 3 game set versus the Orioles, and then the Red Sox, and both teams that over the last couple of years have kind of given the Mariners a little bit of fits, but there have been series where they come out and ball, and I think that it could be one of those weird weekends, especially against the Red Sox, where you're going to have a little bit more handedness and platoon playing in that series. It could be that one like we had down in Sacramento, where you had a lot of those right-handed bats come in and they just came out and played.
Watch Ref against the Red Sox just go crazy.
I would love to do it since like we were like the ideal landing spot for Trevor Story, and then he was banged up his whole first year outside of every time the Mariners played him, and he played like a god. I'm hoping that
Every time.
I'm hoping that Ref does that this week.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And it would be awesome to get a little bit more social media following, and you can easily do that by finding me, your boy Coach Red, on X at the Real Coach Red, on Instagram at the Real underscore Coach Red, TikTok at the Real Coach Red. Also find the show over on YouTube. Search Kicking It with Coach Red. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and leave a comment or two. Kane, where you at?
Find me over on Twitter, Kane2406, TikTok, Kane0624. Also follow the show's socials over on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Red Pod. Pause. Do it, freaking do it.
And as always, stay fresh.
Stay fresh, peeps.
Peace.